Hi everybody, in this video I'm going to show you how to access the Hennepin Tech Online Library. So the first thing you need to do is go to hennepintech.edu and you'll be able to see current students at the top and you'll want to select library. And it will take you to this page here that is saying where do you want to search. So Library One Search is going to search for all resources together. Doesn't matter what kind of database it's from, what kind of source it is, a book, an article, so on. So you can definitely use that if you'd like. More common is to use the A to Z databases, where you can pick a specific database that you want to search in. So for example, my favorite is Academic Search Premier. You can also search by subjects if you're not sure what database you should be looking in. So down here, instead of picking a letter for the title of the database, you would pick subject, and it lets you narrow it down. And if you're not sure what you should pick, then you might want to do all-purpose general education, because those will give you the broad databases that will have a lot of different topics in them. They're not going to be industry or field specific. So once you find one that you like, so for example, this Academic Search Premier, you'll click on it, and if you are off-site, not on campus, you will at that point have to enter your star ID and password, and that should be the same as what you use to get onto D2L. And then it will load the actual search engine in the database, and depending on what database you're in, it will look a little different. So EBSCOhost owns about half of the databases available through the HTC library. So if you use any of those, like Academic Search Premier, it will look like this. And I kind of liken it to Google at the top, right, where it's got this big search bar. You can type anything in and search. And then below that, it has a lot more options available where you can restrict what you're looking for. You can also immediately, off the bat, ask for an advanced search, and that means that you have more control over what you're doing as far as using keywords and search phrases in combination with each other. So you can say it needs to be this and this, or this or this, or it can be this and this but not this. And so recently I heard astrophysicist Neil deGrasse Tyson talking about this, that there is another Tyson who's an astrophysicist, so you could say him or this other Tyson to find information about astrophysics, but you would probably also want to say not Mike Tyson, for example, because a boxer is not going to have anything to say about astrophysics. So in the box, you would type in your search terms and see how, if it's a known term, it's going to try to help you and make sure that you spell it correctly. It needs to be spelled correctly or it's not going to pull anything back. So for example, if I'm looking up supervolcanoes, I hit search and I get about 156 results back, which is not terrible. I could narrow it down a little bit further if I wanted to. But I'm pretty comfortable looking through probably 20 to 30 results and very quickly looking at the title to decide, am I going to go further? So for example, Supervolcanoes Hidden Secrets sounds interesting, from New Scientist, which is a somewhat more scientific than average magazine. So I would click on the title if it sounds interesting or like it might work. And then I can look for more information here and say abstract, for example, should be a paragraph summary of what the article is about. So the article discusses the supervolcano, the dormant Long Valley caldera, including its eruptions throughout prehistory, blah, 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 blah. And if I were writing a paper on supervolcanoes, this would be potentially a good article based on the title and this abstract. So what I would do is I would either read it immediately. So if you scroll down, you can see the full text is available. Or if I'm really feeling in the searching mood, I would instead want to save it for later. So if I want to keep searching for articles, I'm going to save it for later, come back to read it later. And there's a few ways I could do this. First of all, do not grab the URL out of the browser window at the very top. That URL is search specific, so if you try to use it in the future, it will error out and not give you what you're looking for. So instead, what I would do is either email this article to myself. So it says, who are you sending it to? You can email it to yourself. And at this point, you can also say, by the way, I need APA citation style to be sent with it. And you would then receive the article and the citation, the reference entry together. So that's cool because it goes right to your email. You don't have to worry about potentially losing it on a computer or something like that. The other option that I highly encourage is the permalink. So if you click on this here, it's like a chain link with permalink. The URL that it provides here where it says permalink, this is the permanent link. So you can use this URL to access this very spot in the future. So if you're going to save a URL, it has to be this one. And the benefit of that is you can go back to the actual database and again get all the publication information and the actual article. And if you need to get the APA citation for the reference entry, over on the right hand side where it says cite, you'd click on that and make sure you pick the correct one. So in this case APA, and you would just copy and paste this into your Word document if you choose to use this source. And so that is how you navigate the online library. Very quick overview of that. There are, of course, different databases that you can choose from. So, for example, one file from Gale is going to look different than all of those EBSCOhost databases. So to just give you a quick example here, you can see again the search bar is very big at the top. You can also do an advanced search if you're using multiple keywords or phrases, or you want to put limitations on what you're getting back. You would type in, again spelling correctly, the keyword or phrase that you want to search. It tells you how many search results you have and then lists them in what it thinks is the most relevant at the top. So you can go through, look for it. This one looks interesting based on the title. I'll click on it. And sometimes they have abstracts, sometimes they don't. This one does not have an abstract, so I would probably read this first paragraph here to see if it looks like it's going to be good or not. And if it is, there's multiple things I can do here to save it. So I can send it to myself, email it to myself, just like the other database, or I can get that permanent link so that I can always come back to this database here. And it does also have the cite option where you would pick APA and you're able to copy and paste that into your document. So that's how you use the HTC Online Library. I would recommend digging in multiple databases, looking for sources. The goal when you're doing any kind of research for any kind of document that you're writing, whether it's for school or work, is not to just take the first 5 sources that you find, for example. You want to find good sources that will make your job easier to write your document. So take some time, put some effort into finding good sources that are going to be useful to you in writing your document, or it's going to be more work later. It's going to be more difficult to write the document, and or you may have to go back and do another round of research if you don't do a careful, thorough round of research initially. As a reminder, the library is staffed with a librarian and library technicians, and they can help you search for the things that you're looking for, and they have their information posted at the bottom so that if you need help, so for example research help getting started, you can reach out to them and get some one-on-one attention as well.